Hey guys, welcome back. So last time we got the subscribe button set up so that when we press it, it will call this subscribe function. But at the moment, of course, it's going to this subscribe.php page, but it doesn't do anything, but at least there's no errors. Great. What we're going to do in this video is just continue with this, of course, and what we'll do is pass some parameters into this file. We need to pass two parameters into this subscribe file. We need to pass in user2 and user_from because those are the two usernames we need to insert into the table. So put a comma before the closing parentheses there, comma, and then put your curly brackets in. And like I told you before, this is how you pass data in an AJAX request. So the first parameter we're going to pass in is user2, and the value of this is going to be this user2 variable there, so just put user2. The second parameter we're going to pass in is user_from, like this. And then it's going to come from this user_from variable there, user_from, and that is it. Great, now we're passing data through. What we're going to do in the subscribe.php file is just actually take these values and make sure we have them. So open your PHP brackets up and then close it off. And then in there, the very first thing we're going to do is say if is set, okay. And then the thing we're checking is $_post, because remember we're doing this as a post AJAX request right there, .post. So we need to use post object to get the variables. So post, square brackets, and then in the single quotes we'll say user2 like that. Great, and then we'll say and is set, and then the same thing again. So we'll copy this, and then let's just paste it in there and change this to user_from. From like that. So what we're doing here is just checking if this variable is set and this one's set, because we need both of them in order to proceed. If one or both of them are not set, we don't want to go ahead and start inserting things because we'll have some problems. So what we'll do is we'll just do an else block, and this means if they're not set, what we'll do is just say echo one or more parameters are not passed into the file. Okay, and if you really want, you can say pass it into the subscribe.php file. This will just help you if you're debugging, maybe down the line it stops working, you know that you can need to look into subscribe.php file, okay? So what I'll do similarly is just in the if block, I'll just say echo good or something like that, just to make sure we know it works. So this will now echo good, or echo this error message. And let's go back to user actions, and instead of logging this, we're going to log the output of this file, which we know we need to get from a parameter of this function. So we can just say data or something like that. Doesn't matter what you call this part. And then instead of logging done, we'll just log data. All right, so let's give that a save. Go back to here, refresh the page, and I need to open up the console as well. So in the console tab, I'm going to press subscribe now, and we see good because the values were passed in, but if they weren't, so you don't have to copy this, let me just show you. If I change this to something else, user_froms or something, so I spelt it wrong. If I now refresh the page and press it, you'll see this message, one of the parameters not passed into subscribe.php file. Great, so now we know this works, and make sure if you did that, you change this back to the correct spelling, okay? Good, we know this works now, perfect. So one thing we need to do before we can actually start inserting values into the table is to actually include the config file, because of course the config file contains our connection variable to the database. So without that we can't do anything. And to do that we just say require _once. Oh, make sure you spell that right. Require once, and then in double quotes the path to the file. Now since we're in the AJAX file, we need to go back one file by saying .. Then we can say includes, because it's in the includes folder. And then just say config.php like that. And this should now give us a connection to the database. Great. So now we're ready to start actually writing the queries, which will insert the subscription into the table.